bet you thought I would never come back to doing weapon guides after... Jesus. And if you're more new to this channel, then you're probably thinking...
What the fuck am I looking at?
Well, sit back and listen. You might learn a thing or two. Also, this will be the first weapon guide I do of a weapon with a neural upgrade and an exclusive equipment skill set. Yay. Welcome back to Weapon Guides after over 4 years of not doing one. Today we're covering the most well-known submachine gun in existence, the MP5. Or more specifically, the MP5A3. The MP5 was a German submachine gun first developed in 1964, being originally named the HK-54 before it was adopted by the Bundesgrenzschutz and the Bundeswehr Special Forces in '66 and was subsequently renamed to the MP5. Since then, the MP5 has become a staple firearm for police, military, CT forces, and special forces units, well, similar to the SAS, all around the world. Being part of the HK family, one of the most recognizable features is the HK slap, where you quite literally slap the charging handle downward to its forward position. How hard do you slap it, I hear you ask? Well, you slap it like your girlfriend's ass. I did not make that up, so don't get mad at me. Similar to the AR-15 tree, the MP5 family has a lot of variants and sub-variants. Don't worry, I won't spend too long explaining them, but here are the basics. You have the A1 to A5 variants. 1 is still stock, 2 and 3 don't have the 3RB fire mode, 4 and 5 do, 2 and 4 have the fit stock, 3 and 5 have the collapsible stock, MP5K has a much shorter barrel, SD has an integrated suppressor, and is basically the MP5A3 with a 2RB fire mode, and I'm gonna stop there. I've only scratched the surface of them, so feel free to look up all the different variations. The MP5 can be found throughout various missions in the main campaign, which does a lot, and I am not listing every single one of them. Although I will say that the earliest mission that you can get it at is 2-4 emergency, although it can be obtained by completing 3-4 for the first time from your quest missions. Or at least it used to be the case before the daily mission system got completely reworked around 2021, I think. Regardless, the 341 would come starting at level 50 and be 3x'd. It can also be crafted using the SMG recipe with a production time of 2 hours and 20 minutes, sharing it alongside PB90, KACPW, MPK, and MPL. I know it looks and sounds more rigged than the average Dug train, but in all honesty, from my experience, getting that 220 roll will usually result in getting the MP5. As a 4-star weapon, it will cost at most 63 dummy cores to 5x the weapon. Alternatively, you can use a spare MP5 to eliminate a cost of 9 cores each for the same result. Given the amount of features added since my last weapon guide 4 years ago, I'm sure it'll be easy to come by either way. And just for clarification for the next segment, I want to go on record by saying that these are solely the base model stats, not the mod ones. I will get to them once we cross that bridge. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. The damage range for SMGs is between 23 and 35. MP5 sits at 30 damage, which isn't terrible, but there's only a small handful of SMGs that can actually do any sort of meaningful damage, namely Sumi Mod 2 and the ones who throw incendiary grenades. Damage should not be a focus for MP5. A stat that should be a focus on is instead evasion. At a range of 52 to 90, MP5 sits at 68, which does sound kind of concerning given that MP5's evasion sits on the lower side, but once I get into the Mod 2 stuff, that might not be the case. Accuracy ranges between 11 and 16, with MP5 sitting at 13. Unless you're fighting something with 0 evasion, MP5 won't really be hitting anything anyway. And chances are if it is, it's likely armored, so it won't really do much. Fire rate ranges from 64 to 104. MP5 sits at 89. Nothing to say here, so we're moving on to HP. The max HP range goes from 705 to 1320. MP5 being the 4th worst at 840, which is actually concerning. Although it's not all bad, around 2 client updates ago, a new feature was added that can be a major game changer. In short, before you begin your next turn, all of your dolls on the field, assuming they aren't dead or critically damaged, will heal a set amount. At the heal range of 19 to 36, MP5 will recover 23 health at the start of every turn, which isn't great, but it's not terrible either. Now with stats covered, let's move on to active skill. MP5 is one of only 3 dolls with the Force Shield skill, which will create a shield with 9,999 HP to block all incoming damage for 3 seconds.
You want to translate that from bullshit to English?
Unless you're illiterate or weren't paying attention, let me simplify it for you. She's immune to all forms of damage for 3 seconds. Yep. While the skill itself is great, MP5 is actually the worst out of the 3, given that both Thompson and G-C skills last for 4 seconds, and both are just generally better in practically every aspect. Tile buffs are a bit unorthodox to say the least. While having plus 20% critical hit rate is great, it's paired with plus 40% accuracy. Looking at this now, it's meant to complement night battles while you're sacrificing your rifle scope for NV lasers, but it still would have been nice for it to be, I don't know, damage and critical rate? Oh well. Normally, I would have made equipment recommendations by now, but since this is our first weapon guide with a neural upgrade, we'll instead go into that. Now, in order to connect the neural upgrade in the first place, assuming eligible, you need to have that weapon at level 100, be at least 100 affection, have 5 exit, and have the sufficient resources. Once you meet the criteria, you will need to spend 20 dummy cores and 200 memory fragments to upgrade to mod 1. For the sake of simplicity, I will state the stat numbers for mod 3. Otherwise, once upgraded, the following changes will occur. Matt's level goes to 110, MP5 becomes a 5-star weapon, fucking finally. Her active skill gets buffed to match the 4 seconds that the other two have, meaning she is now equal to them, and her tile buff not only boosts accuracy by another 5%, but she will also buff snipers instead of just assault rifles, which is weird, but okay. So far, pretty good. After getting MP5 to level 110 and spending 40 cores plus 1000 memory fragments, she'll get to mod 2. Mod 2 raises Matt's level to 115 and will grant her a second skill. The second skill in question will boost evasion by 20% for every different enemy present for 8 seconds once Force Shield expires, up to a max of 60%. I'll be honest, it's not the best thing in the world, especially after G36C got her upgrade, but before that it actually made her the best of the 3. I actually did a quiz on this some time ago and most of you got that right. Good job! And finally, leveling MP5 to level 115 and spending 60 dummy cores plus 2000 memory fragments, with a grand total of 120 dummy cores and 3200 memory fragments to neural upgrades, she'll reach mod 3, which should be granted exclusive equipment, more on that later, raise the max level to 120, and have a brand new appearance as well as new voice lines. If you oafed her, firstly, the Dr. Disrespect prevention is that way. Secondly, her max affection would be raised from 150 to 200. Also, if you had oafed her while upgraded, she will gain double XP from all sources. While on the topic of mod 3s, all of MP5's previously mentioned stats do increase. But because we can't have nice things, the impact of the stat increase is negligible. Although just like how the impact of Cell on Tatica's termination was in fact not negligible, the only truly noteworthy improvement is that MP5's health goes from its concerning 840 down to 905. While certainly an improvement, it is still pitifully low when you compare it to the other SMGs at mod 3. In fact, MP5's health out of all the other mod 3 SMGs is the 3rd worst. IDW 770 to Type 100's 1165. While still concerningly low, the evasion buffs from MP5's second skill more than makes up for it. MP5 has not 1, not 2, but 3 pieces of special equipment. When MP5 is using all 3, it is said that untold prophecies will be fulfilled and MP5K will descend from the heavens riding a jetpack like Al Gore and deliver upon salvation across the multiverse. I am never letting Whiskey Project Nerd write alls again. More on those untold prophecies later, but first, what are the special equipments and how do you get them? Going by order of release, the first one is the US Exoskeleton. Found on 449, this provides the same -6 damage debuff but provides a whopping 58 evasion when compared to the T-type Exoskeleton's 35. Next is the LED weapon light, which is automatically issued to you the moment you upgrade MP5 to mod 3. Maxed out, it will provide plus 15 accuracy, plus 10 damage, and plus 15 evasion. For comparison, an EOTech sight provides plus 14 accuracy, plus 8 damage, and minus 4 ROF. Lastly, we have the 10mm rounds, which is fucking heretical. We were this goddamn close to keeping it pure, but no! You had to make it use the ugly sister version of the MP5. God fucking damn it. Anyways, the 10mm rounds can be issued from the 4,000 point reward in the Gray Zone Expedition system. It's worth noting that in order to actually equip this, you need to have MP5 on at least mod 1. Back to its stats, it provides plus 10 accuracy, plus 16 damage, and minus 7 to armor piercing. Compared to normal HP rounds, is plus 15 damage and minus 7 armor piercing. And no, it does not provide plus 16 detail like Todd Howard promised. Asshole.
16 times the detail.
When all three are equipped, MP5 skills will further be enhanced. Firstly, the first activation of Force Shield is 2 seconds quicker, while the after effects also reduce damage taken to MP5 by 6% and it can stack 5 times. 100% evasion increase max, instead of 3. I, however, do not know if the damage reduction stacks. Either way, we are balling harder than Dosh Quest 87. For equipment recommendations, if for whatever reason you don't have any of the special equipments, don't worry, I still got you. The equipment system got a bit of a rework. Twice.
Hear that? We have options!
For the Doll slot, always go for the T-Type Exo. Do not try and boost MP5's damage. For ammo, I would personally go for the Signal Flare, especially if you're fighting night battles. And for the accessory, I would recommend the Suppressor over the Tackle-A. While having a night vision boost does seem promising, it's better safe for pistols and shotguns to help offset MG's lack of being able to use any night vision equipment. Plus the ARs are more likely going to be using the AV equipment anyway. In conclusion, the MP5A3 is a solid defensive weapon. While it is easily overshadowed by G36C and maybe Rose 635, it still arguably is a very solid weapon. The only further boost that they could implement for MP5 is a Unity skill, but I doubt we're going to see that. In fact, I feel like once Thompson gets her neural upgrade, it'll probably render MP5 obsolete. G36 already did that, so why the hell not? That's all for this completely out of nowhere weapon guide. I don't know if I want to do another one, but in the event that I do, then suggest which weapon I should cover next in the comments, so long as it's not the Garcano Sisters, IDW, or Clint. And if you think you can handle it, then there'll be a playlist of all my weapon guides I have made thus far. Tune in next time when I regret the decision of letting you choose the next weapon. I don't have an outro for this. I didn't think I would get this far.
Med pack out.